On this week's edition of Monday Night Raw, fans were treated to the much anticipated return of the big dog Roman Reigns, who was announced to appear on Monday Night Raw last week to address his current health and battle with leukemia. Reigns was greeted by a standing ovation from the crowd and thousands cheering his name, as this is the first time we've seen him in the WWE ring since October last year. Not only did Roman Reigns return, but we had a massive surprise return during the celebration of Nature Boy Ric Flair's 70th birthday. Earlier in the night, Ric showed up in usual fashion by stepping out of a limousine, ready to celebrate this huge milestone. The ring was set up with balloons all around it, a giant cake, and a World Heavyweight Championship belt proudly displayed, as a whole host of WWE superstars waited for the arrival of Slick Rick. Ex-Evolution stablemate and longtime friend the cerebral assassin Triple H was the first to come out with Stephanie McMahon, and it was followed by a number of legends appearing. The first was the man who had the sad duty of retiring Flair at WrestleMania 24, the Heartbreak Kid Shawn Michaels, who thankfully now has hair. The bold look just wasn't working. The second was longtime nemesis and close personal friend Ricky the Dragon Steamboat. WWE Hall of Famer Kurt Angle then followed, and last but certainly not least, the man they call Sting returned to celebrate his friend's birthday. Triple H then introduced the 16-time world champion, but he didn't come out. The cameras then went backstage where former Evolution member Batista, who we haven't seen since SmackDown's 1000 episode, was dragging another cameraman to Ric Flair's dressing room. Batista told the cameraman to wait outside while he presumably knocked out the world champion in his own dressing room. What followed was the animal dragging out an unconscious Flair. He asked Hunter if he had his attention now. Triple H quickly ran to the back, but by the time he got there, Batista was long gone, with Flair needing medical assistance. But why? Why has Batista returned to the WWE? Well, we have 3 reasons why. Number 1. One final run. Batista had done pretty much all in WWE during his first run. He was the 2005 Royal Rumble winner, multiple-time World Heavyweight and WWE Champion, and won the WWE Tag Championships with Ric Flair, John Cena, and Rey Mysterio. Apart from winning the Intercontinental Championship, which really wasn't necessary, he reached the top of the mountain, so what was left to achieve? Batista seemingly wanted to move on and do more with his fame, following superstars like John Cena and The Rock, who turned their pro wrestling fame into a film career. Batista asked the WWE if he could do such a thing, but they denied him the opportunity, and any roles WWE wanted through their own film studio almost always went to John Cena. Frustrated at the fact that he wanted the gig, Batista went against WWE's direction and auditioned for a movie role. WWE was not happy and reportedly told Batista, "You're our property, get dressed for the house show and get to work." This was breaking point for the animal, and it led to Batista handing his 1-year notice for departure. Batista didn't give up his love for wrestling, but he didn't like the direction WWE was taking with him. After a 4-year hiatus and breaking into the movie scene, Batista returned to WWE and announced he will be participating in the Royal Rumble. He got a strong reaction upon his return, but it all went downhill from the Rumble, as his win was controversial to say the least. Fans rallied behind Daniel Bryan to enter the Rumble and win it, but when they realized Bryan wasn't even going to be in it, they took their frustration out on Batista, as after Batista eliminated Roman Reigns, he received a hurl of boos. Batista took the reaction personally and thought that the crowd had hijacked the show, as he noted in an interview with MLW Radio. He said, "I think it was more the impression that they were just so anti-me. It was almost the trendy thing to be anti-me. So yeah, it wasn't like they were booing me because I was being the heel or whatever. They weren't booing it because it was a show. It's like a personal attack. It really wasn't something that was show related or entertainment based. It was really like a personal attack. It was an internet thing. Everything I did, I came back and I demanded to come back at the Royal Rumble and main event WrestleMania, and none of that shit was my idea. I just wanted to come back. I didn't ask for a lot of money. I didn't say I was going to do house shows. I didn't say I won't put this guy over. I didn't say any of that. I just wanted to come back and wrestle." The crowd, they didn't really want to watch the show, and they didn't really want to participate in the show. They wanted to be the show, and that really seemed true sometimes. They didn't even care what was going on in the ring sometimes. They wanted to be the show. They wanted to be the highlight of the show. Then I always say, if you want to be the highlight of the show, go to fucking wrestling school, lace up your goddamn boots, and get bumps just like everybody else. Batista decided to call it quits again until he returned to WWE, coincidentally another 4 years later at SmackDown's 1000th episode. There he reunited with his Evolution stablemates Triple H, Randy Orton and Ric Flair. This time around, however, Batista managed to get an overwhelmingly positive response from the crowd, and it seemed like Batista wanted to put his own negative thoughts from the WWE crowd behind him. However, the Animal has stated that this would be his last run in the WWE, and he wants to end his career on a high note. He mentioned in an interview, "At this point, no, Batista is not interested in doing long programs with up-and-comers because it would be like my retirement thing. It'd be what I would go out on. I'd come back and I'd do it. I would do a whole program and I'd be done. But that's how I'd want to go out because we have such a history together and there's so much history built in. There's an easy story to be told and I think people will get into it and they'd like it. And Hunter, he's just awesome to work with." Number 2. Massive heat. Even though Batista got a huge pop from the crowd on SmackDown's 1000th episode and last night on Raw, it will probably be the last time he gets cheered. Batista wants to be a heel, and now that he's returned, he doesn't want to just be any heel, but he wants to be one of the biggest. Batista spoke on not wanting to be a babyface if he returned, as he doesn't quite fit the role. "I'll be honest with you, I just don't want it, being a babyface. I love being a heel, man. You know that. That's what I love to do, man. I think I'm the guy that people love to boo, and I'm okay with that, and I love being heel. I'm the worst babyface in the history of wrestling. I'm just not good at it. When you do promos, sometimes you gotta say things that people wanna hear, instead of telling them things they should hear. You know it's hard for me to be that guy always saying the politically correct thing. I just don't like it. I'm not comfortable with it." On last night's episode of Raw, the Animal showed his more sadistic side as he beat down the now 70-year-old Ric Flair, garnering nuclear heat from the crowd. It also suggests that Triple H will go in as a huge babyface from now on. And number 3. Triple H could already be cleared to wrestle. Yes, it was obvious that WWE had this match in the making, as they teased it on SmackDown's 1000th episode. When Batista was putting over Triple H during their reunion in the ring, he mentioned there was nothing that this man hasn't done, before saying, "Except beat me."
"There is nothing that this man hasn't done in this business, except beat me."
Whilst it looked like the two were going to go at it in the ring, they cooled off, but moments later, Triple H would give a look to indicate that he took the jibe personally. Rumours then immediately surfaced of the two facing each other at WrestleMania 35 in what will no doubt be a marquee match. WWE certainly had plans of the two going toe-to-toe on the grandest stage of them all, but plans were put in jeopardy as Triple H suffered an injury at the Super Showdown event whilst wrestling the Brothers of Destruction. H suffered a torn pectoral muscle and immediately required surgery. Triple H needed a good amount of time to heal up, which could have meant that he would not be able to wrestle at Mania, cancelling any plans of the two facing off. Thankfully though, in January, we got some good news as Triple H informed us he was medically cleared to start training, saying, "So I just got clearance to start training, and I'm excited about that as I sit here right now extremely sore from the training. It was 1 week ago I got the clearance, so the training has already been stepped up, but I'm feeling good." But cleared to train and cleared to wrestle are two different things, but since Batista has returned, Trips could have already got the green light to wrestle again, so WWE decided they can now proceed with the feud further as we come close to WrestleMania. But what do you guys think? Do you want to see this match? Let us know in the comments down below, subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you next time with some more wrestling content.